forward, especially on the exchequer side, so that we convince the National Treasury that agriculture research is very vital. If you don't have research, you don't have technologies. You don't have, so that we can get more resources going towards research, both in all the crops. Secondly is the issue about farmers' participation in research. If you look at coffee, tea, they used to have a foundation where I used to work. Farmers were very happy. They used to contribute very gracefully. But that has ended. So we have, if I am approved and I come back as a cabinet secretary, I have to look at how can we involve the farmers better in terms of management of research and their role in financing. Maize farmers. Yes, the maize farmers, the issue about marketing system. We know the major player here is National Cereals and Produce Board and the millers who participate in marketing of maize. So it's an area where the government has intervened in terms of giving the inputs so the supply increases, but when it comes to mopping up, it has become a problem. Because one of the areas which the challenge there, Honorable Speaker and members, is that when you try to push the prices up, the consumers are losing. So there's a dilemma there. So it's an area which is dicey, and it requires careful consideration, and I'll give it my due attention. In terms of alpha, the original principle was okay, in that you try to, just like we have in energy, we have an energy regulatory authority. We wanted the same, and if you go to other countries, and honorable members have pointed out that in other countries we need to copy what is working. If you go to India, if you go to Brazil, they have one authority controlling a lot of agriculture activities. What is, and I'm convinced is, one of the issues which came through is the way it was amalgamated, it was the way it was structured, and the way it came out in that we were not able to give due attention to all the commodities as they were supposed to be. The original idea was okay. It is the execution part which was challenging. And that is why you are finding everybody wanting to go back because to their own original arrangements. Because in principle, honorable members, Mr. Speaker and honorable members, you'd agree with me, it is more efficient to have one organization where you can have common services. But the feeling of the various stakeholders in various commodities is that they want to go back.
Why do you think it didn't work? And what are you going to do about it?
Well, it didn't work because the issues coming from various commodities, for instance, coffee, tea, amalgamation of other like sugar. We brought different commodities, different subsectors at different levels and there was no effort made to make sure that they are entering at almost at par. So, be it as may, if I'm approved, is to look at what is going on, to see what the stakeholders are saying, because we have to go with the stakeholders. If they say today we want tea, you cannot force them on alpha. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Janet.
Speaker, this is what one of the public members is saying. Dr. Andrew Muya Karanja, Ministry of Agriculture, CS nominee, says that we will always have sugar deficit, always. Isn't there a government policy that will become we become self-sufficient across all sectors in agriculture? How can Eswatini, former Swaziland, which is smaller than Elgeyo Marakwet County, be one of the biggest sugar exporters in the world? Asian countries like Vietnam never had coffee, yet it's now one of the biggest coffee exporters in the world. Thailand took palm trees from Nigeria and is now one of the biggest palm tree producers in the world. Problem of Kenya is total absence of initiative to change the status quo. Why then be a Minister of Agriculture if you believe that you will always be importers of sugar? And the rest I don't want to say. Then he said, he told you how can he actually say we will always be sugar importers? Nyanza province alone can produce more sugar than Eswatini or Sudan.
There are many others, Dr. Is one asking, I'm a vet, the most neglected arm of agriculture is veterinary services. What are you going to do? And many others.
Sure, let me ask.
Yes, Mukami?
Yeah, there's another one. We have a weakness in the sale of coffee at NC, which allows the buyers to offer prices below the reserve price to force a negotiation with co-farmers outside the trading for 24 hours. These are practiced every auction day. What are you going to do about it?
You can respond to those.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. On Honorable Junet is to say, if I implied that we always have a deficit, that is not my intention. I was saying maybe for now, the situation we are in now is we have a deficit. But going forward, definitely, we will put measures to improve on productivity, the reforms in the sugar sector, which are undertaken, so that we become self-sufficient. I'm sure we can be able to get self-sufficiency. So if it was construed like that, then that is not what I meant. The issue about the coffee, the cartels, and the colluding in prices.
You already said you'll dismantle them.
Yeah, I'll dismantle them.
Yes. And improve on the veterinary.
The veterinary, yes, it is. I know I was briefed that Mr. Speaker, sir, that they are registered under many legal instruments. So we are going to, if I am approved, we are going to work with them to see that because they are very critical. Veterinary service is very critical, especially on the livestock side.
Thank you. And if in case we approve your nomination, don't be limited or curtailed by the boundary between the county governments and the national government, because you have a duty on formulating policy that helps this ministry, all its departments across the country, both at the national level and the county levels. I'll ask you a few minor questions, but none the less important. Dr. Karanja, have you ever been adversely mentioned in any integrity-related report?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
There is a man, Onyango, who has written saying your conduct and integrity as a nominee is not good because you have faced one or multiple allegations of unethical behavior and participation in corrupt and illegal activities. Is it true?
Not
he
true.
has provided no evidence, but that's what he says.
That is not true, Mr. Speaker, sir, because yes. I have never participated in that kind of activity.
Do you hold any leadership position in any political party?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Within Kenya?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
What is your net worth?
My net worth is 214 million shillings.
Yes, made out of?
Made up of my residence, my family residences. Mm-hmm. We have apartments. I have vehicles. We have plots and land. I have deposits in a bank's account.
Okay. Yesterday, we had 5 candidates. We asked them many questions, ending with this minor question on their net worth. But the media only picked the net worth and forgot everything else. We want the media to be fair to both the candidates for appointment and the committee, because we are not here to evaluate the wealth of candidates. We are evaluating their suitability to hold public office to which they are nominated. Yes. Yes.
On just one thing, Honorable Chair. The last time when I was in the energy sector, KenGen came up with a policy. They wanted to start doing production of ammonia in Naivasha, which is a very big byproduct for production of fertilizer. Maybe Dr. Karanja can tell us whether, instead of, because the biggest chunk of our fertilizer is imported, and if we could be able to produce ammonia, which is a very, very big component in fertilizer production, then maybe that can go towards addressing most of the fertilizer issues. Thank you, Chair.
That's good information for you, Dr. Karanja. You can go with it, and we'll now release you. Go with your original documents after having been checked with what we have in our possession and found to be correct. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I would like to thank you and all the members for the good engagement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Agent, you can escort the nominee.
Mr. Speaker, on that issue of declaration of wealth, you know, since our media colleagues are here before the other nominee comes in, I know it's the newspapers that largely reported on it, which is okay, because it's part of the vetting process. You know, if these honorable members also here declared their wealth, there are others who are worth much more than that. Like my friend here, Junet. I know if he was to declare his wealth, having been a member of parliament and a businessman of many years.
Mr. Speaker, that is being malicious, Mr. Speaker. And he has been sent to finish me. Yeah, I don't know about you.
My only concern is that you asked the candidates many incisive questions. And the question of their worth was at the tail end of every interview. And even the candidates gave very clear explanations, like Soipan said, her growth is because of the appreciation of the assets that she had. And I believe it applied to everybody. But what we see in the headlines is totally different.
In fact, the Honorable Soipan said appreciation of land and a house she has acquired in Nairobi. And I think it's important for the public to also know all these cabinet secretaries once appointed into office, just like members of parliament, access mortgage facilities to buy a property in Nairobi if you didn't have one. Soipan has also been a member of parliament for 3 terms. So it's fair because maybe next time it will be, these members here will be here being vetted to appreciate that Honorable Mary Amase has been a member of parliament for 3 terms. Whatever she is worth, and she also has other consultancies she does and other businesses.
What about me 6 terms?
We will only question what you will own if you are to declare here.
Mr. Speaker, on the same breath, even Honorable Soipan went ahead and declared even the loans. And if you look at her declaration, she has a loan of 49 million shillings, which is not yet paid and removed from the net worth. So we need to be sensitive on some of these.
Speaker, yes.
Chairman.
Honorable Speaker, I just said I think it's also important for members of the media to understand that the fact that you own properties or your net worth is high is not a disqualification, or it does not make you unsuitable. And the fact that you declare your wealth is not for use now, but for use in future. If, let's say, your wealth that you declared at the time of entering office, if there is alleged corruption against you, that is used to assess whether you legally acquired the property while in office. So it's not for use now. Similarly, the wealth declaration form, the wealth declaration form and the self-declaration form that is deposited at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Authority, I know that the ESCC have spoken in the media the day before yesterday and said that they clear candidates. ESCC has no authority whatsoever in law to clear anyone. They can only investigate you for corruption. So the self-declaration form is for custody by EACC for future investigation should they be necessary. Similarly, the wealth declaration form that public servants leave with their employees is for use only at the time that you're being investigated and they have received a court order asking for the wealth declaration form. So it's important that the media get the facts right. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, let me explain this. Mr. Speaker, there is no harm in somebody being rich, and there is no harm, it is not a crime, in somebody being poor. But what I think people expect is just a proper explanation on how, when you declare this is my wealth, what is the source, what is it? The question that has come up is, let's say you have worked for 30 years and you made a wealth of 400 million. And you have worked for 2 years, and you have made a wealth of 150 million. So that's the comparison that they are looking at. If you explain how you made that 150, there is no harm, Mr. Speaker. Richness is not a crime, as you say. I agree with you. And poor is dangerous.
Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, this is not even new. When we did the vetting last time, all headlines talked about the billions and the hundreds of millions that the nominees were worth. So I think it's something that maybe the media feels can sell. And because of freedom of media, we can allow them to report it the way they see it.
Curtailing their freedom at all.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, I'm aware that Ishungwa is worth 5 billion as of now. So
why are you understating him?
Honorable Speaker, I was wondering why he's understating.
Why are you understating him? Can we break for 10 minutes?
Umerudi? Hata na mimi.
Unajua tunaekanga sauti kwa sasa I guess utakuja alafu pia sisi nimeweka nini, hebu isikize. Matiko tu bado na kelele. Ni watu uoga hapa kwangu, ni watu wanapita. Alafu unaona hii sauti ndio nimesikiza, nikasikia ilikuwa inang'orota, but nimejua ni kwa nini. Ni huo boy alikuja kumbe akatusikia. Ukisikia kwanza sikuwa poa. Yangu. Oh, tunakumbuka alafu vile ulicall sikuwa na control sauti kwa mic juu nilikuwa na wewe on call. Baada sasa nimehamisha, nimewekea tu kwa namba pesa hapa kuna jinsi na kelele kidogo. Hapa tu tukiso. Sasa nani anaitwaje? Anaitwa Chalo, umeswitch hivi. Nimeswitch hivi, nani amesema tena anaitwa nani Chalo. Ndio anasema ati nini iko sawa kwanza. Tapale mahali ambapo yakienda. Chalo anasema Ojo wao wanaweka
Nimeiona.
Imevunjika, hakuna kitu. Hello? Eh? Anajaribu kutropia cable zinakwanga huko chini. Kama tutaweza kudrop. Ukishindwa kudrop, tutaenda tuna hii duara tunaendana nayo kwa nini? Gavana kwa sasa nani Chalo amesema tena tukishughula hivi ni same. Pale ndio shida. No, amekataa. Ati pale mahali wafunzi wako. Ndio amejaribu hata no. Yes. So no. You switch off. Like this. Aiende pale kwa mgonjwa anguke. Inafaa hiyo ndio hizi bado inaanguka. Mwambie tena kuruka. Sijui hata nani anasema. But mimi at least nimepata audio. Wanaenda mpaka nini? Wanatoka wanaenda uwanja. Hebu uliza Chalo. Sijui wameambiana aje na wao. Muulize kama switch the hivi. Tujue kama ni pale ama because now we are doing
Aki alikosea. Aki huyu akaona venye amemtetesha almost mpaka
You know, the challenge is that ni nani huo msichana mwenye
anamjua Haydn. Anamjua vizuri sana. Sasa yeye alichofuata
hadi nikamwambia M-Pesa mesa ndio hii pesa sasa.
Tunakuwa kwa chai ama tunakuwa lunch. Lunch. Sasa kuna chai. Kabui kale kanachukua kwa chai kanaingia na kukaa. Aje, alikuwa shida ya Niko na ubi. Sisi
nayo tunafanyanga collaborative collaboration.
Hiyo ilikuwa
Sasa anajua na like
Bye, my friend. Na ule mzee sikumwambia sasa hivi hata kupita. Hapo, umesemaje? Hii sauti iko poa. Hapa ndio ilikuwa iko na hamu na siko najua.
This is what.
Chukua live view. Chukua live view.
Tutahamisha kamera saa ngapi?
Mwambie achukue live view mkakitani. Tuhamishe live view mtandao.
Tutapatwa tukihamisha kamera.
Peana live view otherwise saa hizi wako karibu kurudi. Huyo mtu anaendelea kufanya. Wacha kuonyesha messages utashangaa. Alikuja akaniambia natoka na huyo aka encourage akaniambia.
so ilikuwa hata
Na mimi naye nilikuwa nimesikia. Alafu now I understand huyu alikuwa anakimbiza sana. Sisi natumia mtu nikasema
Live view.